if we could have the assistant co-secretary call the roll.
Yes. Okay, so we'll start with the chair,
Here.
vice chair.
Here.
All right, Treasurer Smith.
Here.
All right, and then we'll just go down the line. Commissioner White,
Here.
Dallas.
Here.
Yes.
Maddox,
Here.
Moore,
What present?
Neal,
Present.
Montana present.
Bates is here.
Okay, we have a quorum, Secretary Argiro, and then Commissioners Kifley and Stryker are absent.
So calling the meeting to order on November the 12th at 6:40 p.m. Any additions or deletions to the agenda? No? Hearing none? Okay, great. I will add that we are going to speak about commissioners' resignations. There's announcements, so that will be added under announcement, and then another commissioner vacancy will be added to during the secretary's presentation. Report of officers. Okay, did everyone get a chance to read the minutes?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Is there any additions or deletions to the minutes? No? Okay. So hearing none, I move that the minutes from October the 1st be accepted. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Minutes are approved.
Great. So I don't know that we have any city individuals here. I don't know if Reverend Orr wants to speak. No, you have nothing? Okay. All righty. So Division of Police, I'm gonna call it out just in case. City Attorney's Office, I knew that he was not gonna be here. He did email me. Division of Community Engagement, Jocelyn, Martinez is not here. Department of Neighborhoods, Olabisi Eddies is not in attendance, and Nick Clout. Doesn't look like they're in attendance. So part of the reason is we had to change our date. So there's other commission meetings this evening. And so they needed to be at other commission meetings as well. Okay, so I just want that on the record. They just didn't like ghost us. Okay. Are there any announcements?
I have two. First is a save the date in December for Songs on Sullivan. So this is the 5th annual Songs on Sullivan. If you haven't been, it's a caroling event. We do a toy giveaway, picture. There is a zoning training this Saturday. I don't know if anyone has signed up to go, but I did sign up, so I was just curious if any other commissioners are going. Just let me know if you're going.
You say December 14th?
Yes, December 14th, this Saturday.
And that's the location on Sullivan.
Yes.
Any other announcements from commissioners? No? Any from the audience?
Hi, my name is Martina Johnson with the Ohio Traffic Safety Office, under DPS down the street. And we have a new, department, and that's community engagement, outreach services. So I'm here putting a face, in the streets, in different areas, of town. And I'm just trying to get feedback on any concerns you guys may have. And also, I do have a survey that I get people to complete if you would like, and I take the survey back and we will sit down and go over different area surveys where we see the need for more funding in education of traffic safety. So I can pass these out later or now if you would like.
You can, yeah, you could just leave them right, yes, you could just leave a bunch of them there and then commissioners can take them. If they choose, yeah. Is there any questions?
Yes.
So I work up in Easton and I've noticed that the traffic lights in Easton, if you come to a four-way traffic light, all the lights change, or they sit red and then change to red and they stay red for longer than 5 seconds. And here in the Hilltop, they're an automatic red to green, like there's no stopping in between. And I just wonder if there's any way for PBS to look into why there's a time lapse up in Easton and other parts of the city, but here in the Hilltop, it's an immediate intersections are changed. We have so much intersection traffic issues when it comes to crashes, like why isn't there actual like 5 second delay where everybody is supposed to just stay stopped?
Okay, well, I will get you that, well, I could refer you to somebody, and that's gonna be an ODOT issue. We
Okay.
know we are next door to each other. I'm dealing with traffic safety, and not saying that any question you may have, just like that, I bring it back and we meet with different traffic divisions too. So, I could bring that back and let you know, or you have a card, I can email you or give you the information. Okay. Thank you.
Yes.
So this is more of a statement, but our Planning and Economic Development Committee, traffic safety has been a big topic at a lot of our meetings. Would you be willing to come to one of our meetings sometime and we could discuss more on this
What
important
type of
topic?
meeting again?
It's so the commission has several different committees that meet to discuss various topics, so. This particular one's the Planning and Economic Development Committee, and one of like the things we talk a lot about is the capital improvements and like the physical like infrastructure of the greater Hilltop, and so traffic safety, of course. A lot, we've had vision coming in towards, but
Okay, you know me, is ODOT, and it probably is gonna be more, see?
Mhm.
It's Martina, I'm sorry, no. Honey, I got too many. Okay. DPS, ML Johnson at dps.ohio.gov. And also dealing with the community engagement piece for traffic safety, like I said, it's a new position. We are looking, half of us are federally funded by NHTSA, so
NHTSA is what?
NHTSA, National Highway Safety
Thank you.
Transportation Administration,
Mhm.
the federal level.
Mhm.
So they want us to go out, want me to go out and see what's going on in neighborhoods, not every neighborhood. Right now, I'm dealing with Franklin County, and what I'm looking for is how to try to stop traffic death, fatalities, and prevent serious injuries. And right now, the overrepresented people are Black, African American,
Underrepresented.
you know, up under that umbrella, Somali, you know, the Haitians down, you know, around the community. Right now, we have a lot of new incoming Americans. So I'm trying to hit those populations because they're overrepresented in our numbers. So I just want you to know that.
Okay,
Okay.
you have a question?
Do we still, or do you all ever do Safety Town in schools? Where the kids of those people you mentioned might go, I'm just curious.
Safety Town,
Safety Town was a way that you would train kids early on to know like how streets and traffic operated.
we do, ours is called Buckeye Brutus.
Okay,
I don't know if you have heard it, we do, it's a statewide program. They do go into the schools for elementary kids. And you can email me, and it's in our driver education section of
Yeah.
traffic safety. We have motorcycle safety, driver education safety also.
and I got one more question. Do you know if public safety at DPS has a version of you that does community outreach?
For all of DPS.
Engagement.
Yeah, like, so, you know, your traffic safety for DPS, is there a public safety version of you at DPS that would work with us on things related to public safety?
I will ask. I
Okay.
know right now they have a program, they go out in the community right now, to the pantries and stuff. They have a lot of volunteers right now on the west side,
Okay,
but I'm not sure what the name of that program is.
okay.
And I apologize, y'all.
I'll send you an
I don't have the
email.
answers for y'all.
Mhm.
Y'all got some questions. This is the first time and I'm excited.
I'll send you an email.
Excited to get back with you too. So,
Thank you, Ms.
okay.
Martinez.
Thank you
Okay.
so
Oh,
much.
there's another question.
Are the fatalities you talked about, are they people that are in cars, or the pedestrians, or both?
So it
Both.
could be, a car driving,
Yeah,
running from the police and they accidentally hit somebody on a
Yeah.
bike or someone running. It could just be a high-speed chase. It could just be a car crash, a hit and run.
Okay.
Sometimes people, they don't have license. They don't have insurance, so.
Okay.
Yeah, we do have education for older adults, training program too, and young adults. And then there's also information, on our website at Ohio Traffic Safety, if you have teenagers or know of teenagers. There are grants that are going out throughout the state of Ohio, because, driver education is expensive now. It's over $500, so. Columbus Health Department. And I think ESC, Educational Service Center,
Mhm.
they have grants,
Okay.
okay?
All right.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you just spell your first name for me?
Martina, Martina.
That's what I have, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, so I think it was like 2 or 3 years ago, a lot of other than Columbus, municipalities were trying to organize to have home rule over their roads in their cities. So like Akron, Fort Smith, Ohio, Cincinnati, and Cleveland, we're all trying to convince ODOT to allow municipalities to change the timing on the lights, decrease street speeds. Do you by chance heard any updates about that or any workings?
I have no. But guess what? I can get you the answer if you.
I will, I appreciate it.
I get answers, get back with you, so I.
I know you're.
Okay. So would you like, the commissioners that ask you questions to email you with those questions?
I
since
would
you didn't want-
greatly appreciate
Okay.
each and every one of you. If anybody has questions,
Mhm.
I'm the community engagement coordinator. And like I said, this is a new position, just getting my feet wet and going out to area commissions, to city events. I do have swag right now, if anybody, just a little bit,
Is it over $5? Don't.
Well,
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, don't take.
But I also want, once I gather information, hopefully, regarding each side of town and African Americans, the Hispanic community is highly rated too in these, overrepresented numbers. Then we'll see where we need to work at, where we need to educate, what community we need to educate at this time. But also, I have phones down magnets. If anybody wants them, that's the new law under Governor DeWine, and there is information about, I have pamphlets on the law, and these are stories, actual stories from people. Then I have teen information for them, for anyone behind the wheel, for any teen driver.
Yeah.
Anybody want that?
You can leave them and we'll take them to the library. That'll be a good thing, as well. It's not technically swag. I just wanted to say, it's not t-shirts and all that kind of stuff. So thank you for bringing that information to the commission. We appreciate it. What is that?
Is this survey online? Is it more than just this
No.
paper? It's just a paper survey?
Just, yes.
Okay.
Okay. Any more questions? Any questions from the audience regarding the announcement? Any questions? No? Thank you for coming.
Thank you. so
Yes,
much.
absolutely. Absolutely. So I have, an announcement. I need, according to the bylaws, to declare, as most of you know, Commissioner Wedding has resigned. And so I need to declare that her commission seat is a vacancy. Okay, and so, having said that, we will accept nominations. And then we will vote in December regarding, they have to be in attendance based on the bylaws. So if you know anyone, even the audience that would like to fulfill the rest of Commissioner Winning's seat, which is a year, correct? Ashley? She has a year left? Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
So it'll be for 1 year. If you have any, one that you would like to talk to a commissioner about nominating, so you can do that, talk with the commissioner, and we can nominate, a replacement. Okay? All right. I thought I saw a finger up. Yes, ma'am.
If we're interested in running, like, can we put our own name in?
You talk to a commissioner, yep, and it's not running, you would be appointed, and you'd only be a year, okay? If the vote goes in favor of you, so there may be a number of people that have submitted their names, okay? Next up is presentations, and I imagine it's you,
It is me.
okay? So this is
And,
Theory Wellness, and you can go ahead and introduce yourself.
yeah, I'd love to, and we do have it. Okay.
We
all right,
do.
I'm shifting back to them having a
Yeah.
presentation. All right, great. Well, good evening, everyone. My name is Nick Friedman. I'm co-founder and chief strategy officer of Theory Wellness. First, I'd like to just extend my thanks to the commission for inviting me here to present and giving me a few minutes of your time. In tonight's presentation, I'm going to just start with an introduction to the company, just go over a little bit who we are, our track record, and then I'll dive a bit more into the specifics on the project here in Columbus. And then lastly, like it's always important, just I'm here for questions, so I'll leave time for any questions you guys may have for me. So, yeah, great. If we just go to the next slide, next one after that. All right, great. It might be hard for you to read there, and I'm gonna kind of talk most about this anyway, so it can be there in the background. But essentially, so Theory Wellness was founded in 2015. Today, it's one of the largest and most well-established cannabis companies that's privately owned in the country. We operate over 20 cannabis licenses across 6 different states, employ about 300 people. And really built a reputation in the industry around best-in-class customer service, safety, compliance. We served over 3 million customers without incident, and while doing so, maintained in our industry, the NPS score. It's like a way to evaluate customer satisfaction in a retail environment of about the 99th percentile in the industry. So, maybe if we just go to the next slide, please. That's just a quick snapshot of the states we're operating in, with New Hampshire being absent, because that was a new addition for us. If we go to the next slide, please. Okay, great. So just a couple things about our company that I haven't already mentioned. We're an award-winning brand. We have a very strong balance sheet, having been in operation and profitable now for the last 5 years. So certainly are adequate in terms of being well-financed to finance our growth and expansion in our new locations. There's no real like financing contingencies for a project to be, brought halfway to completion and left vacant. We also have an excellent leadership team with over 25 years of combined cannabis experience. But a lot of them come from big box retail or our CFO who has come from running all of Jackson Hewitt prior to joining Theory. So we certainly have like a very big talent pool now at our company that I'm very blessed to work amongst. We go to the next slide, please. So now talking a little bit about next slide, actually. Thanks. What does our stores look like? How do we present? The first thing you'll notice when you go into one of our dispensaries is that they're really built to look and feel like high-end retail. We emphasize interior design. We want to make sure our customers are always feeling relaxed and at ease when they're at a store. Rather than, if someone's new to cannabis, it can sometimes feel a little overwhelming. We focus heavily on education and training to ensure that our team members are really there to help guide a new customer through the experience. People who are completely new to this have a lot of questions, and we're really there to just help answer them and steer them in the direction that best serves what they're looking to get at our store. And throughout, we're really just rooted in hospitality. We hire from folks with hospitality backgrounds, and that's really the environment that we cater at our stores.
Go to the next slide, thanks. So, while that's kind of the customer facing side of our business, we also, make sure our stores are really built out with security and safety top of mind. Our stores have 100% camera coverage inside and out. We're well equipped with state of the art alarm systems, motion sensors, access controls, panic alarms, you name it. It all gets reviewed at the state level, and we have, quite a robust checklist of what we need to be able to do to meet the criteria. We've been fortunate enough, out of, the 7 years of operations across all of our licenses to never have a serious incident at any of our stores, but we remain vigilant and well prepared. Additionally, just to note, the locations our stores are all a 21+ facility, and we scan IDs both at the entrance as well as the point of sale, the secondary check before anyone's eligible to make a purchase. Next slide, please. Great. So a little bit about us as an employer. So as an employer, we're a company that prides itself on diversity, equity, and providing a great place to work for all of our team members. We've done some first in the industry. We're, to our knowledge, one of the first companies to actually engage and work with an NAACP on what a good hiring plan is. We offer paid starting wages. We offer well-paid starting wages, well above the minimum wage, with full benefits, and we were one of the first companies in the cannabis industry to actually offer a 401k plan. A lot of opportunities that traditional industry has, cannabis does not, and we really had to get the 401k industry to get comfortable with our space and actually offer that to our customers or to our employees, which took time, but we advocated for that and we finally got that across the line. And then also very notably, this is in a different state, Massachusetts. We actually transitioned our entire company there to becoming 100% employee owned, which was the first of its kind in the cannabis space. So outside of being an employer, we pride ourselves in just having a good relationship and supporting our communities. Our team members volunteer. We volunteered hundreds of hours of time for community service. We donated to over 45 nonprofits, and we really just maintain an open communication line with our neighbors, our businesses, the commission, anyone who wants to engage with us or talk to us. We really like to be an active member in our communities. Next slide, please. So diving a little bit into the proposed location here in Columbus, just clerically, just to get a couple important pieces of information out to the commission. The address of this location is 3905 Sullivan Ave. The hours intended are 8 a.m. through 10 p.m. Days of the week, Monday through Sunday, so 7 days a week. Earliest anticipated open date is in February 1st, and this is an emerging contact just to have, which is our VP of Retail, Taylor Smith, and his phone number 413-329-0182. Next slide, please. So interior wise, this facility isn't built out yet, so I don't have any final photos of it. We're in construction, early stage, but I included just a preliminary rendering to the left of our location, as well as interior photos to the right of just another similarly sized location and what kind of an environment can look like at the end of our build out. Next slide, please. Mention security holistically, like how our approach to security is. This is a snapshot of the floor plan here in Columbus and the security measures in place. Like mentioned, the kind of robust 365 security exists. Other things to note is that all cannabis at the end of the day is stored in our vault, and there's a zero tolerance policy for any sort of consumption or loitering on site. Last slide. So in summary, Theory, we're a well-established company with a highly experienced team. Our location here at 3905 Sullivan is to be built consistent with our standards of aesthetic, our focus on safety and security, and we'll be staffed with well-trained, well-paid team members who are ready to welcome customers in and guide them through their needs. We're really thrilled to be here, and we look forward to becoming a contributing member to the community. And thank you for your time this evening. I'm now here for any questions anyone might have.
Does any commissioners have questions? Go ahead.
So, welcome.
Thank you.
I'd want to ask, with the 17% tax that you guys have, is there an opportunity within that for us as a community to begin to get benefits from having you located in our community?
That's not something I can answer. I don't really know how the state allows for divvying up of taxes. That's a little beyond my jurisdiction, but I can try to find that resource, that information out and follow up, but that's not something I know off the top of my head.
And that's okay. And I heard, as you were talking, a community-minded spirit, hundreds of hours of community service. I would just want to try to do what I could now on the front end to see how we could get you leveraged in the community, that you're in a position to do good, that would actually be good, that's relevant, needed, and defined by the community.
Certainly, yeah. Well, definitely, you know, open to conversation around that. I mean, I think we take our approach where when we are in a community, we try to find opportunities as time goes on, as we're able to like establish ourselves and make sure that we, you know, we're meeting our neighbors in our community in ways that they can see benefit from. So open to ideas, yeah, thanks.
Are you?
Go ahead.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Are you doing any external beautification or landscaping to the outside of the property?
We're not changing the site plan itself, but the building is gonna have a different paint job to it. Right now, the paint's a little worn, so we will kind of repaint the building itself, but we're not gonna change the site.
Okay.
So I just have a few questions. So first, have you had any locations closed, and if so, why? And then, what made you choose this location in Columbus?
Yeah, great questions. First, no, we haven't had any locations closed. In terms of the choice for this location, for those who haven't followed it, Ohio went about a very interesting way of citing locations where you actually had to choose several locations and kind of submit them in order. And then from there, and so, sorry, we'll back up. Anyone who was operating already as a medical company, which we were out in Sherwood, was eligible for submitting additional locations. So there's about 130 of these companies that were able to do that. And you submitted those locations blind. So you had up to, I think, 3 picks where you could submit. And they scrambled it through a lottery and then started to go down the list, and you weren't able to be within a mile of another competitor. So if someone had kind of gotten in earlier, they may have bumped your location. This happened to be number 2 on our pick in full transparency. So it was top of it wasn't number 1, it was number 2. And we really just felt that Columbus was a good home for us. We like the population density here. We like the access that Sullivan has provided, and those type of demographics worked for, you know, what we felt we could run a successful dispensary.
Did both of your questions get answered?
Oh, yeah, thank you so
Okay.
much.
All right, so Commissioner, Jenny.
So our first presenter brought swag. Did you bring swag?
And we're not allowed to take swag. We're not allowed to take- I do not condone swag. Was that it?
That's good.
Okay. Go ahead, Commissioner.
Seeing as you're only using half of the building and you're the farthest one from the parking lot, are you gonna be doing any actual, is there gonna be somebody outside directing people not to park in the gas station? The parking lot for your building?
Well, we have kind of a receptionist. They're not going to be actually standing outside. So, however, we do have a relationship that we've already built with the gas station guy. We're actually leasing 3 spots right in front of our entrance door on that side of the building, just to allow for that additional spillover. But we're going to continue to remind customers to park in the main lot. It's a short walk on sidewalk, but I think over time they'll learn that.
Any other questions from commissioners? Go ahead, John.
Who were you able to get to finally get through with the 401ks? Are you?
I'd have to look at the name of the company and ask our CFO on that one. Yeah,
It's a big issue.
yeah,
It's a big problem.
yeah. Happy to follow.
Any other questions?
My question was related to parking, so half of it got answered. So how many spots are on the east side of that building then in total?
On the east side, I think it's close to 20 spots.
Okay.
On the east side, that's the main lot. And then we're leasing an additional 3 spots on the gas station side.
Okay.
Yeah,
So I have a couple.
sure.
Okay. So you talked about DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. And you said you partnered with NAACP.
Yep.
So, the NAACP, represents one population or a couple every once in a while. What about the other populations that are, part of the Hilltop here?
Sure, yeah, well, I think when we partnered with them, that was one of our Massachusetts locations, and really we're just looking for input on general best practices when it came to hiring. So for us, the approach that we would take here is first, it comes down to making sure that we disseminate properly the advertisements for employment, for the fact that we are hiring. And that, like, just simply having good representation across the community in terms of where people can find out that we are hiring is kind of step one. But the general goal through our entire hiring process is to have the demographics working at our store to be of equal or greater representation to those of our community. So that's kind of how we measure success at the end of the day of have we like met our internal benchmarks of diversity within our team.
Okay, so staying on the DEI, because that's what I do, right? So thinking about that, is it only in talent acquisition or is it in your DEI mission and vision throughout the organization? So not just talent acquisition, but also wellness and all the other pieces and parts, right?
Yeah, sure. So, well, in terms of on the talent acquisition side, it doesn't stop there. It definitely continued as, you know, we look at it in terms of like promotion from within and at different tiers throughout, like not just, you know, entry level, but on management, et cetera. And then in terms of how we're looking at wellness holistically, I'm not perfectly the right person to speak to our entire HR department, but our HR department, as it relates to different tools that we use for either professional advancement, giving people access to Coursera, which has a wide variety of like different self-learning tools and career advancement. That's always something that we promote and try to continuously encourage those of, you know, across our entire company to take advantage of, as well as just different related HR policies that we try to broadcast in an equitable and wide way throughout our company.
Okay, so if I have questions specifically about DEIB, because I still do, I don't want to use up this time here.
Yeah.
Whom would I contact?
If you email it to me,
Okay.
I can get the answers. I just may not have them.
Okay, because I'm looking at supplier diversity, I'm looking at all the pieces and arms of your organization,
Yeah.
right? Because we are represented by a number of different populations here on the hilltop, and it's going to be important, in my opinion, Victoria's opinion, that we provide opportunities to all.
Yeah.
Okay, and then I'll have another question, and then I'll go to the audience if you all have a question. You kind of talked about the process to get approved, so I won't go into that. And we talked a little bit about safety engagement, the engagement with community.
Yep.
Can you speak at all to what that means other than getting the positions advertised in the right places? Is there other type of engagement that you do?
Yeah, so a lot of times our engagement becomes something that once we're here and we're actually present, becomes a little bit more natural, meaning we essentially empower this store manager to be someone who is the point contact for our kind of local community and our local areas. So they usually recommend, you know, once they're here on the ground, what organizations to do a partnership with, right? We've done food drives, we've done you're bringing in we've done like community garden work. So those type of localized engagement usually originates from our store manager as suggestions that kind of trickle up to us approving.
Okay, so I'm gonna say you should do it before you get here. Okay, just to make folks aware.
Yeah.
And that's something that you're of interest. That's just my thing.
Yeah,
Okay.
sure.
Are there any questions from the audience regarding this? So the state's already approved your license and they gave you the list of places and you had to select and all that
Correct.
stuff, right? Okay. Are there any more questions? Anything else?
Just
No?
one quick,
Mhm.
so this is to Commissioner Moore's point. I just pulled up the numbers. Of the 10% tax that is paid by consumers, 36% of that revenue goes to the Cannabis Society, Social Equity and Jobs Fund, 36 to municipal corporations or townships with the adult dispensaries. So my guess is the money would get kind of just absorbed into the city of Columbus and Franklin County budget and not necessarily specifically designated for the hilltop. That'd be my guess, but it's new.
Think we should.
Right.
When you think that there's
Get our money.
communities that resisted and passed laws not to have them,
Right.
we should be able to set kind of a gold standard if we have them, work with them in a way that's amenable with them.
Yeah.
And for our community. Yep,
Yeah.
This will be our second one.
yes, Bloom being the first, right? Yeah.
Mhm. So one more thing, I thought I was done.
Sure.
So the Social Equity and Jobs Fund, how is that? And I know that's a state, they actually disseminate, that fund, you just pay into it. Are you aware of how they? Cause I know the state of Ohio is not doing it for really, to the utmost, let's put it that way. They may be doing some, but not all. Cause I know advocates for this type of, retail space has said that it's not being really utilized. So you don't have any idea about,
No,
okay.
yeah, sorry.
That's okay, and you probably don't want to speak to it, but okay, yes, so, so that's cool. Any other questions? Anything else? Well, thank you so much
Yeah,
for,
thank you.
yeah,
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Thanks for
Oh,
getting the
I'm-
PowerPoint up. Yeah.
When is the if everything continues to go to plan, how long does
February.
development take before you open the doors?
February 1st.
Yeah,
Thank you guys so much.
thank you, appreciate it. Thanks for being patient to get on the agenda too.
No worries.
Bring swag next time.
Do not bring swag. Okay,
What kind of?
we in enough trouble, okay.
T-shirts, all kinds.
No t-shirts, no nothing, no, gummies, none of that, okay. Report of officers is up next. I have nothing to report. Vice Chair,
Nothing this evening.
okay, Secretary? Here we go.
I have something to report. Commissioner or Secretary Argiro is not here, so I'm acting in his absence. And we do have something I think it's just to declare and not discuss unless Chair Bates Fry corrects me on this, because I'm new in this process. But per Article 1, Section H, which is what happens when a commissioner is absent for 4 regular meetings in any 12-month period. We are supposed to have that kind of, their resignation is supposed to kind of follow that. They have to get notified when they have missed the appropriate number of meetings, and then they can petition that. So Commissioner Stryker, who is not here this evening, has now missed 5 meetings. He's not here tonight. He missed February, April, June, and October, so that puts him at 5. So that does, I think, automatically make him resigned from the commission, which means we would actually have 2 vacancies, him and Commissioner Wenning. Secretary Argiro had been in contact with Commissioner Stryker after the last meeting and copied the chair, but we have not heard back from him. As of this evening, Commissioner Argiro said that he had not heard back from him. So his term also expires in 2025, so we would actually be filling 2 seats for vacancies for 2 commissioners. We need to vote on anything since he's not here. Since he is not here.
No, it's automatic.
Has anybody just checked to see if he's okay?
No, we did.
Okay.
Yeah, of course, yeah, we would do that, yeah, and I'm gonna circle back around and try to find out. That's why I was asking some of the commissioners if they had any kind of personal contact with him. And so let me just read the bylaw. Okay, it says the absence of any commission member from 4 regular, and this is kind of what Ashley said, actually exactly what Ashley said, but I want to read it. The absence of any commission member from 4 regular meetings in any 12 period shall be deemed a resignation unless a petition is made to the commission, either in person or in writing, and accepted by GHAC at the next regular meeting of the commission following the 4th absence. In the event of multiple petitions, each will be considered individually. 1, if the petition is not accepted or no petition is made, the secretary shall notify the mayor and city clerk of the resignation. The resignation shall result in a vacancy that the commission shall fill in accordance with the procedures outlined in Article 1, Section F of these bylaws. If the commission accepts the petition by a majority vote, all or a portion of the absences may be excused and the member in question shall be returned to good standing. Because Commissioner Stryker is not here, it's an automatic vacancy. Okay, are there any questions?
So he was given.
Yeah.
So he was given something in writing saying you've reached a number of missed meetings and you need to respond.
Yes, yeah, so Commissioner Argiro keeps an attendance log, and so he keeps track when people get close to the floor. So after the last meeting, he was notified. And I think he actually might have been notified twice. I
He
think he
was.
might have been notified at the end of June that he had missed 3, so he couldn't miss one more.
Awesome.
And then he was notified in October that he had missed 4 and that he would need to submit a petition, but he did not hear back.
All right, thank you.
Yeah. So I'm reviewing the bylaws and the actions that have taken place, we have followed the bylaws. Okay,
Thank you for reading H. I had it written down, but thank you.
yes. Do you have something else? Do you have something else to? I'm not.
Oh,
yeah.
yes, do I have one other thing? Yes, I had one other thing from Joe. So we, at this moment, are not gonna be able to continue to pursue the paid note taker position with the current proposed manner due to the changes of the contract and the payment procedures. So he is planning to communicate with the student that we were working with of these changes. And we can consider it as an option in the new year, when we have the new commission, but, he said that this no longer needs to be secretary business, but, it is just an update of where we are with the paid note taker.
Just a suggestion. So back in the day, I was looking through some old things from the GHAC, like back in the 80s. They used to have an intern for the GHAC. So that might be an alternative to having to actually pay for somebody. Is to get like a high school or college intern for the commission.
The idea was that we would pay someone just because we have the money in our budget
Right.
and like just give someone that experience, but we can
Right.
see, I can follow up with them and say that like that's something we could consider. I mean, one of the things that we've been doing is I've been helping him with the notes, and so like you've probably noticed that like we'll kind of go back and forth.
Sure.
So I feel like that also works. So if for some reason we can't pursue the note taker, the paid note taker, we could just have 2 secretaries. We have a large enough commission that there should be
Sure.
people that can do that.
Okay. Is that it, Commissioner?
Yes.
Okay, great. Commissioner Smith, treasurer?
Thank you,
Anything to
Chair.
report? Yes.
So we have, so as you can see on our report up there, we have $2,670 in remaining. Or excuse me, in unencumbered budgets. That'll shrink down to 170 in January, because we'll lose 2,500. But in February, myself or whoever's treasurer at that point will work with the new chair and develop a new budget in February, because we'll have to at that point, because we're not gonna have the assistant secretary position. Subscriptions will change a little bit. And we'll be down to 2,500 allocated, so that's all I have. Are there any questions?
Quick comment. I have coupon codes for our apparel store. Those will be coming out in the email after. So look for those like first thing in the morning.
Okay. And Commissioner, can you explain a little bit more about that? How
So
it works?
I will be emailing you a promo code to use, as well as a link to our apparel shop where you can go and select from a list of items that we've already pre-approved to have our logo on. And then those, it's gonna be a $30 stipend for current commissioners as of 2025. And though, whatever the difference is in what you'll owe. So if you buy something that's $50, you have a promo code for 30, you'll essentially owe the $20 and what the shipping is. And then I would also like to make a request that since we do have a lot of funding or a lot of funds that were gonna expire at the end of the year, if we could go ahead and pre-order 20 vests, like reflective vests that we can use while we're out. Either door knocking, litter cleanups. I got cheaper options than the ones that are listed on the store that we can select from. I know the ones on the site were a little pricey, but I think the ones that they sent me are definitely under $20 a piece.
I think with that, we'll need, first of all, but there needs to be a motion, but second of all, to have conversation with the treasurer regarding, if that is in the budget, we need to make sure that.
But, Chair, if I could just check real quick. So this will actually be our last meeting. We can possibly do that because the Department of Neighborhoods has till December 1st for area commissions to process any sort of payables. This would be the very last meeting that we could vote on something like that to use that $2,500. So what I would propose we do is, since we just heard the news about the assistant secretary position, we go ahead and eliminate that from our budget. That'll leave us with $675. You could go up to that amount if you like. Don't be afraid to go super high to make sure you're able to get the 20 that's needed, because no matter what, we're gonna have to essentially give back budget to the Department of Neighborhood. So if you want to make a motion for 20 vests for 675, and then or I guess first, I would probably have to make a motion to revise the budget, right? So should I go ahead and do that, Chair? Yeah, thank you. And you're okay with making that motion, James? Okay. So I move that we eliminate the $675 appropriated for the assistant secretary position in the 2024-2025 budget. Can I get a second?
Second.
Let's do a voice count. Let's,
Okay, all in favor?
no, I meant
Oh,
like people raise their
each one.
hand.
Okay, sorry. Okay, we'll just go around the room. Okay,
Yeah.
Whatever.
Commissioner White,
Yes.
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Kepler,
Yes.
Maddox.
Yes.
Fagan,
Yes, please.
Statesboro,
Yes.
Yes, please.
Moore,
Yes.
Neil, I'm a yes.
Yes.
This is so hard to do.
And type, right? You're doing a good job. Keep going.
Space and, yes, can play, thank you. Okay, so the motion passes.
I'd like to make a motion to spend up to $675 to order 20 reflective vests for our 2024 budget. Have a second.
Second.
Oh.
Wait a second.
I gotta write that one. One of you.
Oh,
Okay,
I own that second.
okay, okay, we'll go back through,
Yes.
okay,
Yes.
Yes.
Kepler,
Yep.
Yes.
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 yes,
Yes.
okay, thank you, motion passes.
Great. Anything else at this point? If not, we're gonna go to the reports of the committees, zoning.
We did not have any applications last month from before us. And we have 2 scheduled for this upcoming Tuesday will be our next meeting. Those addresses are 659 Racine Avenue and 56 Oakley Avenue. And that'll be Tuesday at 6 p.m.
Did you say 56
Oakley.
south or north?
Well, I'll have to go back and check my. Let's see.
659 and 56.
Yes.
That's December.
North,
What?
my apologies.
That's okay.
Any questions? For Commissioner Bates? No? Community relations?
I had a question about this.
Oh,
one.
oh,
Do you know
okay.
what they are pertaining to?
I have them right here. A variance for an existing metal structure that is right now out of compliance for the, let's see, Oakley Avenue address. And then the, Racine is for, carport.
Okay. Moving along, community relations?
We did not meet this past month, but we will be meeting on the 25th of this month, and that will be the Monday instead of a Tuesday. That way we're not too close to Thanksgiving if folks are traveling or anything of that nature.
Do you have your next meeting? Did you mention it?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Yep, Tuesday, 6 p.m.
Okay, great. Thank you.
back at the library.
Okay. Community, government and legislation.
We also did not meet last month, I was cruise. I did.
Oh,
Congratulations on Facebook, yes.
We will also be meeting, the 25th, Monday, after community relations. We have the one item you had mentioned, but do you want to, are we talking about that in new business for certain tonight?
I can't remember what the item is, but yes, new business. We'll do new business. That sounds good.
There's a new item. of business.
Well, we got new business. Okay. Human services and education.
Oh. Joe's not here this evening. Oh, shoot, no, where did I pull it? I had it and then I changed my screen. Yeah, here it is. Okay, I got it. We will. So. We are continuing, so the report that Commissioner Argiro sent out to the committee members is we're continuing to monitor the school facilities plan. They've toured local buildings that were on the some of the 9 buildings that have been discussed as potentially being closed. Talked to community members, teachers, staff, students at those buildings. And they're continuing to have meetings, including, I think the next one is Thursday. But no votes are planned on being taken. There's still, input gathering. So we're continuing to be involved in part of those conversations. So AEP has reached out, looking for questions around, for GHAC, and we've developed some questions, around some of their grant programs, looking for results, community grant program from past year, looking at policies towards burying lines, building up grid resilience and proactive maintenance instead of waiting till the storm hits. How can we be more proactive in preventing storms from causing the damage? Looking at financial assistance and rate pauses for lower income residents. Helping people to get energy efficient appliances and insulation, and policies towards supporting developments with required EV charging. So as we know in the Hilltop, if people are moving towards EVs, are they gonna be running extension cords out to their cars to be parked on the streets? I think we've all seen a few of those houses already.
And with that, I did meet with AEP today, and they're working on a new, like tariff program, so that you can have your EV metered separately, and if you charge on specific times of the day is what rate, it'll be different rates.
Okay.
So if you're charging overnight during like low peak hours, you'll get like a reduced rate, versus if you're charging during a peak hour when like everybody is at home. Or on a super hot day and everybody's running their AC.
Yep.
So keep an eye out on that. There's more changes to come with it.
Yeah, maybe a good idea to invite them next
Mhm.
year to the commission.
Yeah.
Any questions? Anything
Yeah,
else?
well, and a few other things, the Equitas Health Safe Point program that
Yeah.
presented to us a few months ago. They're now in month 4, they're, kind of just building up their reputation and relationships and work. And they're gonna provide more information after month 6 on kind of how it's going, kind of, a 6-month check-in to the committee and to the commission. Let me see. We're also looking at, Safe Green Schools, grant application. So there's efforts in the city of Columbus. There are federal dollars currently available, to invest in, eco-friendly school buildings and construction. We're talking about school facilities. To me, if we're gonna be building new buildings or rethinking our facilities, let's make them more environmentally friendly as we go forward. And there's federal dollars available right now. for that. So because of that, there's gonna be a community meeting next Wednesday, November 20th at Columbus Mennonite Church. Which is when we were supposed to be having our next Health and Human Service Committee meeting. So we are gonna cancel that meeting, and a few of us are gonna go to that community meeting to try to make sure they are prioritizing Hilltop area
Good.
schools
Mhm.
in these conversations.
Yeah.
And I think that was the main things in that report.
Any questions? No? Anything from the audience regarding that report? Great. Liquor permit review, I don't know who else is on the committee. Are you part of that?
I am part of the committee, but we've not met.
Okay.
We did not meet last month.
Okay. Planning and economic development,
So last meeting, we discussed a housing market study update with Nick Fox from Department of Neighborhoods. We kind of discussed where it's at right now. It's not final yet, but when it is, it should become should come before the full commission, I believe you said, right, Ashley? Learn more about kind of what some of the data points in that market study update. At the next meeting, we plan to continue this housing discussion with the land bank. And then we're also going to discuss the capital improvement survey. We're looking at possibly doing that earlier, but also improving, like what sorts of questions we ask, how we engage the community more with that. So I'm actually gonna I have a bunch of other ones from different commissions that we're gonna take a look at and see how they did theirs. So that'll be at our next meeting. In the future, we're gonna talk more about the sidewalks we discussed at the last meeting. Also link us after the election, what now that the levy's passed, who do we reach out to kind of discuss what our community's next steps are with that? And what sort of opportunities there are to better the Hilltop with that. And then we're also, obviously, as I mentioned before, more items about the capital improvement budget, which is gonna change this year. It should be a more participatory budget. And then, of course, housing, we're gonna have a lot of those discussions. And yeah, that's my report.
okay. Any questions?
Was there any, didn't you guys talk about bank block too?
Yeah, that was in our September meeting.
Got it.
That would have been before the full commission meeting that we had.
Okay.
We had a very lively discussion on that. A lot of people had some really great ideas on how we can really utilize that space, and I personally am really excited about the project.
Anything else? No? Next up, public safety.
Yeah, we tried to hold our meeting the same night economic and planning was happening, and it seemed like everyone was there, so we did not have a meeting. We didn't have enough people to have our meeting, so.
Okay, and when's your next meeting?
Yeah, we want to switch if we can to the 21st so that folks can enjoy Thanksgiving instead of being stuck in our meeting.
So it will be the 21st?
The 21st at 6:30 at the library is what we're asking.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you already secure the space?
No, we will.
Okay.
Yeah,
'Cause it
as
may
soon as I
be-
have a signal.
Okay, yeah, cause I know they're pretty booked, which is why we could be there.
We're studying.
Uh-huh. So we talked about public recreation and parks.
We did meet, we reviewed our audits from the summer, we reviewed 4 of them, we will not be meeting this month, as we have been combining our meetings with human service and education, and with that meeting for some solar improvements for our schools, we're also going to be canceling. So our next meeting will be December 18th at the library.
Any questions from the audience? I forgot to ask you after each committee report. Anything? Thank you, thank you. On to unfinished business. So we have, there was a bylaw update that was presented last month. And so that was the first reading. This would be the second reading in accordance with our bylaws. So
Yes.
Commissioner White, yep.
So as proposed, this change is only for, it's gonna be section 3. Section Article 3 meetings, section A. This is gonna be first sentence. We are changing our full commission meeting start times from 7 PM to 5:30 PM. So it currently reads, general regular public meetings shall be held on the first Tuesday of each month, beginning no earlier than 7 PM and ending no later than 10 PM. And at a public place to be designated by the chair. And this will future read from 7. We're changing the start time from 7, so it'll begin no earlier than 5:30 PM and end no later than 10 PM. This is our second reading. Questions, concerns, or changes? Having none, I make the motion to approve the bylaw change of our start times, 5:30 PM.
Second.
There's been a motion, so we will go around again, so we're motioning, to approve, so we'll start with you, Commissioner White.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, motion passes by all present. Okay.
Okay, now that the vote has been passed, this will be submitted to OLBC so that she can post it in the city bulletin. It has to be posted for no less than 30 days before it can become active. So new bylaws, updated ones will be going around after that 30-day time.
You wanna go to the second one, or you want?
I've been having discussions with OLBC, regarding, commissioners, code of conducts. This language has been submitted or provided by the city attorney's office. This will be an addition to section 1 under members. And this will be its new category labeled M. And it reads as following: area commissioners in performance of all commission activities shall engage in the highest standards of ethical conduct, to include maintaining professional levels of courtesy, respect, and consideration, integrity, and objectively towards fellow commissioners, the public at large, and anyone having business before the commission, as well refrain from harassment, intimidation, and discrimination in any form. Again, this is language provided by the city's attorney's office to add to our current bylaws to set some type of standard and forum for commissioners in regular meetings, as well as on our online platforms and outside of full commission meetings, committee meetings, when presently presently engaging as an area commissioner. Does anybody have any questions, concerns? This is the first reading of it. The government legislation has not had a full discussion about this language, which we will be discussing at this month's meeting. And I propose that we're going to read this 2 more times. Just because I have questions about adding either some teeth to this that I need to clarify with OLBC. So if there is anything to change, that'll happen next month.
So, okay. Yeah,
Can that verbiage be sent out so we?
Yes, I'll send it right now.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. I could have it for the notes.
so you don't have to talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll just kind of highlight that.
Are there any questions concerning that? Any questions from the audience?
Was was it a requirement from the city attorney's office that we add that, or was it a, hey, just giving you just giving you rules? Like, what prompted that in their eyes, do you know?
It was a discussion that I had with OLBC and the chair regarding current and future member conduct, commissioner conduct, and how to address said conduct when acting as a commissioner. So in accordance to any type of future issues that may come up, this was recommended by the city attorney's office to add to our bylaws to kind of reference back to like, hey, this is how we need to act as adults. And my question is either following up with the city attorney or OLBC about, we have this language presented to us, how do we actually use it? Because I mean, it's one thing for it to be written in paper. I feel like it needs to be another part of it that says, hey, somebody is allowed to either give you a demerit or something to kind of enforce it. So again, there was raised about current and potential future members' conducts on the commission, whether in person or online, that kind of negated why we should add this.
Commissioner Fagan has a question.
James, I just clarify, is this language being recommended to all area commissions or just ours at this point?
At this point is something that I had requested
Okay.
to add to, so the city's not forcing this on us.
Okay.
I sought this for us.
I understand.
As it relates, I think you had mentioned about some type of code of conduct for engaging online, for community relations, but we didn't want to get into the weeds of like, here's this rigorous structure to add into the bylaws, so this is something that we can add that kind of states, hey, this is how you should professionally be engaging, if you're using the commissioned website.
And so I'll add that I've had conversations with city officials as well. And I did ask about, is this, for all the commissions, right? And most commissions have code of conduct in their bylaws. We're one of the few that do not. So I am, all for a code of conduct, so. Yeah, and I believe that just in conversations I've had, that the city is trying to level set all commissions. To include certain verbiage around code of conduct and other things, because there are some best practices out there. And so I'm glad to say that we have this year been looked at as a best practice. Okay. Any other questions? Jane, you got another question? No, okay. Any questions from the audience? No? No? So we're gonna have another reading next month in December. Because the committee has some other questions and wants some teeth. And just conversation around that, so there'll be another reading next month. If I could vote now, I would, but you can't. So, anything else? No? So I didn't jinx the meeting. I said it's gonna be over quickly. So I'd like to move with no further questions or conversations or motions. I'd like to move to adjourn the meeting. Good. And the vote?
Yes, we're going around the room again. Okay.
I like around the room.
Okay. All right.
I want to hear everybody's voice.
Yes.
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 Yeah. Yes, please.
Yes.
Not yet. Not yet.
No?
It's a yes.
Okay. Yes.
I guess.
No.
Thank you, Kevin.
One no, for real?
Yeah.
Okay.
Meeting is adjourned at 7:48.
Record.